As we have discussed on the program this week, the effort from Republican senators to justify their vote for the so-called Respect for Marriage Act has led them into some tricky rhetorical corners. Republican Senator Cynthia Lummis was one of the Republicans who voted for the redefinition of marriage. Then yesterday, she was asked by CSN News whether she believed children had the right to a mother. Here's what happened.
The Respect for Marriage Act, which recognizes a right to same-sex marriage. So does a baby have a right to a mother?
I don't know where you're going with this, but I don't like it.
The audio quality is not great there, but what she said is, I don't know where you're going with this, but I don't like where it's going. Why doesn't she want to answer the question about whether children have a right to a mother? Joining me now to discuss this is a mother herself, Mary Szoch, director of the Center for Human Dignity at the Family Research Council. Mary, welcome back to the show.
Thanks so much for having me on, Joseph.
What's your reaction to Senator Lummis's dodge?
Well, it's really sad. For centuries, we have recognized that the best environment for a child to grow up in is in a loving relationship between a mother and a father who are there to raise and care and nurture that child. The recent push for so-called equality has tried to say that men and women are actually the same, and that because they're the same, they can replace each other in a child's life. And we know that this just isn't true. We see this play out when in a natural marriage, a mother or a father dies, and we see the beauty of other people in society stepping up to try to fill that role. And even then, there's still a loss. So we know that a mother and father cannot be replaced. And we know that the so-called Respect for Marriage Act attempts to replace mothers, especially.
Now, Mary, when we see this situation, it becomes apparent that Senator Lummis is uncomfortable with the question because she doesn't like the implication of the question, right? When you accept the premise that same-sex relationships are equal to opposite-sex relationships, you are required logically, if you're going to try to be consistent, to believe that it is not important for a child to have both a mother and a father because both of those relationships can't provide that situation. So do you think that this is a case where Senator Lummis and others who hold her position don't really think through the implications of their decision, or do they just not care for political or personal reasons, and they get frustrated when someone highlights the implications of their position?
Well, I think a major problem here, Joseph, is that no one is actually concerned about the children. We're prioritizing the wants of adults over the actual needs of children. We know that the presence of a mother helps regulate a child's heartbeat. The mother's presence helps the child to grow. The breast milk from the mother is so powerful and equips the child with so many different immunities that even the World Health Organization recommends that mothers breastfeed for up to 2 years. So I think that we know the benefits of the presence of a mother and father in the child's life, but politicians like Senator Lummis are choosing to ignore these realities and to value adults' wants over children's needs.
I think that's really well put. And this is certainly not the only situation in which we see that happen. Arguably, the completely irresponsible spending habits that we as adults have right now, where we are taking trillions upon trillions of dollars and passing that off to our kids and grandkids and basically saying, have fun. We're enjoying spending all of your money right now before you're even born. I just think we have this pandemic, to borrow a term, of adults just believing that their interests are more important than the kids. Because clearly, when you ask these questions, she is very uncomfortable understanding that it's not good for me to say kids don't deserve a mom, but I basically just said kids don't deserve a mom, but I don't want to admit that. Where do we go from here? Is there a point at which this argument actually becomes persuasive and starts moving the needle on this issue?
Well, I think that we'll always see the pain and suffering of children who are raised without a mother or without a father. We see that there is a deep wound there, that these people are looking for others in their life to fill that void. And I more of those people speaking out on this issue. I think you're absolutely right. We need to reach a place where, once again, adults are willing to sacrifice for the sake of their children. We need to reach a place where marriage is valued.
Mary, you're cutting out a little bit there. It looks like we've lost her connection.
Values of
I know
children are put first.
We got you back. Mary, we lost your connection there for just a moment, but we are about out of time. We thank you so much for being here, for providing your insight and perspective, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks so much.